Alrighty then, welcome to another episode of To Be Fair Fantasy Football Podcast. As always, I am one of your hosts. Let me move my mouse; it's going to drive me crazy. Johnny. To my left is Chris. Beneath me is Nick. They've had busy days. We'll get into that right after the intro. So hang tight. Welcome back. Like I said, this is the To Be Fair Fantasy Football Podcast. I'm Johnny. To my left is Chris. Beneath me is Nick. And
Right.
I gave you a little bit of a teaser that they have had an interesting day so far. First of all, Chris is sounding a little bit sicky. So if he talks a little less, he won't. Bear with him.
Nope.
But,
I'll still ramble.
That's what's going on.
Unfortunately.
But go ahead, Chris. Tell the nation.
So on top of battling whatever disease, Black Plague I have,
Herpes.
my wife tonight decided, hey, we don't have a gallon of milk in our upstairs fridge. Can you go get one from the downstairs fridge? Sure. I happen to make it about halfway down the stairs, and a freaking bat flies up past my shoulder. My dog is like attack stance at the top of my stairs watching the bat. It does a couple circles and then dive bombs back towards me. So I panic. I run back inside, close the door, and then we spend about a good 2.5 hours trying to find a bat.
So, did you find the bat?
We did.
And how did one extract the bat?
You ever seen Ozzy Osbourne?
Yeah.
There was quite first we tried the suck it method with the shot vac. Did not work. Then we tried jamming a big stick up there. That didn't work. Too big. It was for reference. My basement has cylinder block walls, and the top is like not quite finished. So you can, like, on some of the sides you can see through on the cylinder blocks, and it had gone in one of those little crevices and then like up into the top cylinder block where they have like that square hole. So long story short, we basically got, I think my dad was the one that said peppermint and eucalyptus like are deterrents for bats. So we just filled a water bottle and we were just drowning that thing. Not really.
Holy water.
Yeah, we weren't really drowning it, but we did spray it quite a bit to make it uncomfortable to get it to come out. Then we put it in a Tupperware box, took it to my backyard, and set him free back over the fence.
Now,
so all is well.
In the event
That thing is dead.
It's dead? You think it died?
Dude, Dad said it was soaked. And he said it was like, that thing is probably so weak and tired that it is probably...
We probably did give it a cardiac arrest,
That
in all seriousness.
That
I
happened
poked it
once.
with one of those sticks with a hot dog that you put hot dogs on over a fire.
The skewers, we were Yep.
I went to go clean my pool one time, and I opened the filter, and there was a bat in it, and it was terrifying. It scared the crap out of me because it came out of there, and it was like, I'm like,
Yep.
Ah! So we've all had encounters with bats now. I mean, we all remember what happened to Matt. Our friend Matt had a bat in his room in the middle of the night, and it kept hitting.
I think it landed on his shoulder.
Yeah, it kept landing on him, and then not a week later, a pipe burst above him and soaked him while he was sleeping.
Mid-sleep.
So we've all had our fair share of problems. Now, let me ask you: if this bat would have made it up to Corinne and somehow made contact with Corinne, would you have superhuman on your hands for your next child?
Yeah, there would be a chance that my next child would be the star of the Twilight Saga, part 6 or 7, wherever we're at.
Or the next Batman.
Fair.
Yeah.
Anything's possible. It would be a
Anything's
woman
possible.
Batman, but hey, teach their own.
It's true.
It's 2025.
Take it or leave it.
Yeah. But we will get into the things we always get into, which at this point of the season is going to be complaining about the things we don't like about football because the Bengals aren't playing anymore. And fantasy's a little dead right now. What we got on the slate, if you saw it in our title, is the state of the Pro Bowl / Super Bowl matchup and top performers. So we're going to start with the Pro Bowl. First of all, has anyone watched a single second of the Pro Bowl outside of what you've seen on social media?
I happened to be at Wings and Rings Thursday night, so not intentionally.
It invaded
And
you.
I'll be real honest. I also didn't surprisingly get like sucked in. It was a date night with me and my wife. We talked. I really wasn't like invested.
Yeah, I have not watched anything besides on social media, and I've scrolled through or away from most of the social media clips because they've been that boring of clips. I wrote down a couple of things that were particularly offensive. At least to me. If you're watching, chime in. You guys obviously chime in. Wide receivers wearing borderline Hulk hands catching the football.
Yeah, but that was kind of funny.
We'll get to it.
It does nothing for the sport, but it looked hilarious.
Tug of war between big boys. The passing drill for the quarterbacks, and then flag football. Those are the clips that I saw. That's all I saw. I know that there's more.
There's always dodgeball.
I saw the one-handed. That's not true. I saw one-handed Jamar trying to make one-handed catches, and then like a diving catch. What do we think about the current state of the Pro Bowl in 2025?
It's boring.
Nick, you started off.
It's boring.
Nobody watches it. There needs to be some sort of incentive where I think something has to be involved with money. So I say, what if the AFC and NFC both decided that if they win more events or the flag football or whatever, they get to donate X amount of dollars to their charity of their choice. Or, because I mean, they're not going to keep the money. That'd be stupid.
Yeah.
But
right.
like, it's something to where they have an incentive to actually try and not goof around, but it's also still fun enough to goof around. I don't know what else you would do other than like NFC or AFC gets more money or like in their pocket but something has to be involved with money, I think, because I don't think I've heard the idea that like if the NFC wins then they get to host the Super Bowl. If the AFC wins they get to host the Super Bowl, but it's like I don't know if like Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase would be like, we gotta win so the Chiefs can have a home field advantage. Like, I don't think they care. So that's why I said like,
No.
I think money for a foundation of their choosing or something would be good. I think.
I do think that there's some truth behind that. I don't know. This has turned into what every All-Star break turns into, where the best of the best come together, and then when they're playing, it's just blatantly obvious that everybody's just like not trying. It's like everybody's either going for like the crazy like one-handed catch. The flag football game is just play after play. It's like 80 to like 75 because they're just like not playing defense, or offensively they're just trying to like intentionally throw a Randy Moss ball to a receiver. So it's just stupid. Like it's not fun. It's not exciting.
Do we think this is worse than like 5 years ago when they were running a Pro Bowl game and it was basically two-hand touch?
No.
Because I think the two-hand touch Pro Bowl game was worse, but somehow that's worse. Too. But this is still really bad. Because I just like Ocho Cinco just posted clips of when he was in the Pro Bowl, and like they still had like the skills challenges, but like they actually were playing. Like they were making tackles and stuff, and that's just not going to happen because people are afraid of getting hurt now. But
which I totally get. It's a different time, but to Nick's point, like not every team, frankly, is equipped to host a Super Bowl. There's a reason that the NFL committee goes and picks the fields. But I do think there's an element that you can negate the coin toss and just say AFC wins, they get to decide if they want to kick, receive, defer.
I don't think like the Bengals aren't gonna do something to help the Chiefs or give them an advantage. It's like
That's true.
I don't think at any point, and even the NFC teams, I don't think anybody on the Cowboys or the whatever are gonna be like, "Go Eagles, bring it home for the NFC."
Well, so in theory, what you should do then is it be the following year. That way, like there's like every team, like for
yeah,
instance, Pro Bowl is 2025. AFC wins hypothetically.
Offset
Then
it a year.
AFC, 2026 is the year that they get to decide kick, receive, defer, and then that way at least you're not intentionally throwing a game to prevent a team from winning.
Yeah, I think it could be a good idea. Even I typically the only thing I've watched of the Pro Bowl like that I want to watch from the last like 5 years has been the passing, like precision passing drills from the quarterbacks. And even that, okay, our quarterback is in. I watched Andy Dalton in the precision passing, like, and he did fine. But like even the precision passing now, like, the digital targets suck. Like, no one wants to see a ball bounce off a digital board and then it just turn into an X. Like, why are we not using the like different angled targets when there was like a corner end zone shot and like it would tear through and then like it would like blow up smoke and stuff? Like, everything has gotten like so much either like lazier somehow or they're trying to make it look so Miami-ish that it just comes off as like not as cool. Like, I think people severely underestimate how much people like yearn for like 2005 aesthetic and not like now.
Sure.
Because
Yeah.
like Joe Burrow killed the precision passing, and I was literally watching it like this. It's like, okay, like I can only watch a ball doink off of an LED board so many times, and it creates, even the announcers said it, which we'll get to them. It creates that weird delay where it's like, oh, he's got to wait to see if the X pops up. It's like, okay, well, if you see a tear and a bunch of smoke go off, you ain't got to wait. So you could just grip it and rip
Yeah.
it. Like,
Well, it doesn't help either. Like Russell Wilson, for instance. Say what you will about him as a quarterback. I'm not getting into that debate. He is only accurate when he can throw this like mile-high ball, and there was like scaffolding up there.
yeah,
So like there was nothing he could do.
yeah,
He was just throwing like darts, and they were coming like 20 yards short because he's not a guy that like drives it. He arches it. So stupid stuff like that, where like when you're indoor, you just negate all of that.
Yeah.
At least there.
yeah. It was the best event in my eyes. Was terrible. Jamar, I mean, I like to see guys having fun, but Jamar doing the one-handed catch thing, it's like, okay, well, most top receivers can sit there and catch a ball with one hand now.
Oh,
And
did
then-
you see Justin Jefferson? He looked like buns.
Yeah, and then like,
I don't know what happened.
and he's like barely jogging to do the diving catch on like the mat, and it's like, I don't want you to get hurt, but it's like, at least showcase something like here. Like,
I genuinely think that was the element of like, you remember in like middle school when you get asked to do something and then you like were kind of forced, but you thought you were too cool to do
Yeah.
it. Like that's the sense I got with like half of the guys there, where it's like you're invited, it's the thing to do, you get paid contractually more money when you make a Pro Bowl, so you have to go. But like, I think they all seem like this is dumb, so like they're just kind of like goofing off.
Yeah, like they literally took that like F1 reaction time like drop simulator where they drop the pegs. And it's like, okay, we see this on every team's TikTok page throughout the season of like D linemen doing it. Why is this a Pro Bowl event? Like, this is something you can do throughout the season. We don't need to see this at the Pro Bowl. It's just crap like that. It's like you telling me this is the best idea you guys came up with. Like,
I miss back in the day watching like Brett Favre and like Peyton Manning used to like, the challenge was how far can you huck the ball?
yeah,
Dude, yeah, that's what I want to see.
Rip
Dude,
it and
I
rip
miss
it.
that. Yeah.
It needs to be track and field. That's all I'm asking for. It just
Yeah.
needs to be track and field. Like, go out there and see how far you can throw it. Let Peyton Manning punt the ball and see how far he can punt it. Like, that's all I want. Like, but no, they try to get too fancy, and it's just like, I would axe 90% of the stuff. I would keep flag football, I think, just because, you know, it's an Olympic
You have
sport.
to play, yeah, and you have to play a game.
Yeah, it's you need a game. It's an Olympic sport now, and I think it's going to be awesome when the United States just dominates every other country at flag football. I think that's going to be sweet to watch. But the most egregious thing of it all is the announcers that they had at this Pro Bowl. I mean, I saw one comment that said, "How many people have a microphone right now?" Because it sounded like 15 women just yapping over each other the whole time while I'm trying to watch anything at all. And it's like, this is just like people that never had a chance to do any actual announcing, so they just had to throw them in at the Pro Bowl to give them a shot here. And it's like, okay, you're making an already bad product like worse. Like, at least if you put Ian Eagle at the Pro Bowl, like he could like, you've seen the videos of a really good announcers calling like a squirrel on the field or like a streaker, and it's like they can turn anything into something funny, and at least they could like make fun of the Pro Bowl or something.
Yeah.
Like put Snoop Dogg there. I don't know. Like give
Dude,
me
that would be awesome.
something.
I would love that. Yeah.
But it's turned into something that's unwatchable. But they gotta have something. I mean, baseball's in the same
They
spot,
all are. I
I'm
mean,
sure
NBA
is in the
NBA
same
is
spot.
just no defense, oop city, half court shots. I mean, it's
Well,
stupid.
NBA, they actually try now. I can't remember why, but it's like there's actually like stakes to it.
Playoff seeding, isn't it? Or playoff
Might be, I
something.
don't
It has
know.
something to do with
It's
playoffs.
something like that. Yeah.
But they
There
actually,
was like
they
some
actually try
in-season
now.
tournament or something they did with it.
Well, they're doing that now, but like the All-Star game, they actually I don't think it has to do with the end game season, or the in tournament season.
Mm.
The
Oh.
in-season
Instant
tournament.
season tournament.
Wow.
But
Yeah, I mean, it's hard. I understand the dilemma. It's hard to get multi-million-dollar athletes to put forth a bunch of effort in a game that has zero effect on anything long-term for them,
Yeah.
especially when they're getting paid. Like Jamar, for instance, contract year. Can you imagine Jamar hustles for a deep ball in the flag football game, tears his ACL or something stupid? Like,
yeah,
I
probably
totally get,
suicidal.
I totally get not pushing it because like I would do the same. But this is a common issue across every sport where like it is just not fun to watch anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you have any thoughts on the Pro Bowl or how they can fix it, please let us know. I don't know if I'll ever watch I mean, I don't think I've ever watched a full Pro Bowl, ever. I don't
Nope.
think I ever will unless something like awesome happens. I mean, we had 3 representatives in the Pro Bowl, and I just didn't care. I mean, you got Trey Hendrickson out there doing tug of war. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
like
Even the flag football is like they put receivers at cornerback
yeah,
and running backs. Like it's not even like a full defense. So
They had receivers at quarterback.
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Which I mean,
it's for
I don't-
fun. I get it.
every once in a while, I guess. I would rather see that. Like that is mildly entertaining, at least to see. I would like put a big guy at quarterback, just see what happens. Like
Let's watch Joe Burrow and Jared Goff run routes against each other.
yeah, I don't know, freaking put BJ Hill at quarterback. Like put someone
Yeah.
of that size there, see what happens.
Dominican Sue, bring it back to
Yeah.
the all-time QB.
Who knows if they'll fix it? If you have any ideas, like
They
I said,
won't.
let us know. I doubt they fix it because they have a lot of other problems they haven't touched. Moving on to the more pertinent information, the Super Bowl matchup. We went over this a little bit last week. Predictions.
We do not care.
We don't care. Yeah, we're not watching the game. But because this is a fantasy football/football podcast, we will be making predictions on who will win this game, and maybe drop a little score in there. I'll lead us off. I think there's not a chance on God's earth that the Chiefs don't walk away with a three-peat here, and not because they're good or because they deserve it, but because they will be forced to a three-peat. What score did I put in there? 27-24. So yeah, it's gonna be one of those frustrating. You think the Chiefs are gonna lose? Couple timely flags. We've seen it a billion times at this point. The three-peat will happen. We'll hear about how Mahomes is the GOAT for the next eternity. We'll all rage. We'll start the next season. They'll have a bad roster, and nothing will change. They'll keep winning games somehow. That's my prediction.
Nick, you want to go ahead?
I think the Eagles win. I think they win 34-27. I think Saquon is going to lead them to the promised land. And I say all this just hoping. I
Hope
deep
is
down
dead.
I know what's going to happen, and I'm not going to
Listen,
admit it.
I gave in before the
So-
Bills game. I told you before the Bills game. I knew it was going to happen.
So I'm taking the Eagles. I think they'll do it.
It's easier if you just roll over and take it. It's.
No.
I mean.
Never!
Chris.
No.
Chris, who you got
Yeah.
here?
I'm taking the Eagles. I will never, ever, ever take the Chiefs again, and I don't care if they're playing any St. Mary's for the School of Blind and Deaf. It does not matter. I am never picking them. They are
I
the
hate them.
most unfun team to watch for
That's so
us,
bad.
many reasons. One, Patrick Mahomes has not been good this year, minus the last 4 or 5 games.
Even
two.
then, he's not been good. He's been
No,
serviceable.
it's
He's
just
been-
not been turnovers, and
Yeah.
it's been okay. 2, to that point, offensively, they have put up 21 to 24 points to win games. Boring. 3, we've said it before, we'll say it again. I don't understand how there are people in the sports broadcasting universe that still have jobs that can somehow defend the Chiefs. When you go back and you watch play after play after play after play be called in their favor, and I'm not talking about the fact that, like, it goes both ways. There are times where you watch Mahomes slide, blatantly not get hit, roughing the passer, flag. Then there are blatant times where Josh Allen gets a first down, where Xavier Worthy just blatantly doesn't catch a ball. And then they go to review and they're just like, nah, it's fine.
Did you guys see that the NFL's what was that rule change they were looking at? The using electronic measurements for first downs now. They're
Yeah, about
considering-
time.
Considering it for next season. And all the-
Also,
I have Chiefs players in my Twitter timeline raging, saying, "Oh, you only changed the rules because you can't beat the Chiefs." It's like, brother, are you being serious here?
Yeah.
Like,
perfect example. You remember last week when we were talking about how Travis Kelce got in DeMar Hamlin's face and was, guess what came out this week? The NFL fined him like $30,000
yeah.
for taunting.
30 million would
Weird.
have been great.
Yeah, that'd
Yeah,
be
I
great,
would've-
dude. Suck it.
His
I hope they do
girlfriend
that
would've
and
just
they
given
put
him-
Taylor Swift in prison. That's what she deserves.
Did you see her dancing at the Grammys?
She was plastered.
To
She was.
Kendrick Lamar.
It was the biggest
It
pick.
was
The biggest pick me energy I've ever seen. When Sabrina Carpenter was singing, she was literally the only person dancing, and it's like, how do people? Okay,
he's kind of bad though.
Taylor Swift rant.
Nope, I
Taylor
don't think so.
Taylor Swift rant. Here we go. You did it. One, I'm not here to put people down. I don't think she's an ugly person, but she
don't
is
think she's
not
attractive.
nearly the most attractive person on the face of the earth.
I could
2,
name like 100 other women I'd rather.
easily.
Hillary
Easily.
Clinton.
No. Okay.
Oh.
Second, her music is the most mind-numbing, liberal, rage bait, garbage brain rot I have ever heard in my life. And the people that play it on repeat exhaust me. It's like, it's not even because I don't like her. It's like, just from a musical standpoint, like, it's not good. It's not impressive. She's not an impressive vocalist. She doesn't play any music anymore. She was okay as a country artist. But now, whatever this garbage she's putting out is terrible. And then, of course, at the Grammys, she somehow makes it about her, even though she's not doing anything. And she happens to be in favor of the worst possible franchise and team in the history of sports.
With arguably the worst person.
Yeah, so, like, nothing good can come from that. Okay, Taylor Swift
No.
rant over.
Yeah, all
Um,
that to say, I will never root for the Chiefs again. And when I say root, I'm talking, I don't care if they're playing, like I said, they could play Carolina. I'm picking Carolina every single
Oh.
time. I do not care.
Hey, Adam
It's-
Thielen's GOAT.
It is so frustrating, and I hope, I have never, I better not say that. I don't want to say that on that. I don't want to put that in the universe. That's bad juju.
Okay.
I retract that statement.
Good job.
I'm
I'm
sorry.
proud of you.
I'm sorry. I thought it.
I'll say it. I've been waiting for a career-ending injury on Patrick Mahomes since I've been watching him put up 55
No.
touchdowns in a year. Not life-threatening, career-ending. The man has won enough. All right. The
Dude,
Steelers.
it's just also like, this is a perfect example too, of like this season. Like you just said it. He's gonna if they three-peat. For now until the end of time, until some other person comes in to be the face of the NFL.
It's LeBron.
Yeah, he's the greatest.
MJ.
And the worst thing about this is the fact that this season was the most mediocre,
Yeah, it was really
like absolutely boring season
I can't
from a quarterback
remember.
statistic standpoint.
I can't remember a playoffs this bad in my lifetime of my like conscious football watching lifetime.
Dude, I gotta get this off of my chest. I'm just saying, on the topic of all of this, people that say Patrick Mahomes is the best, whatever. It's hard to argue facts. It's hard to argue the fact that he's won so many times, that they're so successful in the playoffs. For you to look me in the eyes and tell me that Joe Burrow is not elite, what is happening?
Also, yeah,
that conversation is wild.
We're a week away from playing the Super Bowl, where the Bengals have been removed from any game for 4 weeks now,
Dude,
and
they cannot let it go.
They cannot get it out of their mouth. Like they are literally obsessed. We're the easiest franchise to constantly crap on because of Mike Brown, but I don't think anybody that's legitimate, like Dan Orlovsky, Kay Adams, anybody with a brain pays attention that like, oh, we've actually kind of made some changes. So sure, we got stuff to work on, but like he's not Mike Brown from 40 years ago. Mike Brown.
Sure.
But like, why, when we are not involved at all, is Chris Canty out there saying Joe Burrow's not elite and Stephen A talking about? It's like, you guys can't help it. It's because the NFL is posting videos of Joe saying he's clutching the precision passing because he hit the 5-point, and it's like, oh, we're still glazing Joe Burrow, or how clutch is he from Cancun? And it's like, are we really doing
Stephen A. Smith came from boxing, first and foremost.
Yeah.
Let's get that out of the way. You know nothing. Secondly, Chris Canty, what did you do remotely successful in the sport of football? It is mind-boggling to me. And I'm in that category too. I am by no means somebody who was successful in any stature of the game of football. But like, how can you argue 40-plus touchdowns, the yards he threw, the completion percentage he threw, the smaller amount of picks that he threw? Sure, we've had injury issues with Joe.
With his 29th ranked defense.
Dude, like, I don't understand what is, like,
I don't.
Dan Orlovsky said it the best the other day when he was talking about it. And he was like, you give Joe Burrow a top 15 defense, they're playing this week.
100%.
Like,
100%.
it is unbelievable. And I'm not even trying to, like, I'm a Cincinnati fan. Like, I just don't understand. Like, those people that are saying Joe Burrow is not elite clearly didn't watch a single game while our defense just played prevent defense for the whole game, gave up 500 yards, and then Joe willed his way back, dumping the ball off to Mike Gesicki, Chase Brown. Like,
I mean, he's got
what are we talking about?
He's got 3 healthy seasons, and you've got Super Bowl appearance,
AFC Championship,
and then should be MVP. But I'm surprised, honestly. It's honest to God that he's even in the last 5 for voting. Like, I'm surprised. I think it's just a courtesy thing at this point because they have to. But like, I was surprised to even see him there. But what? If you want to come at the argument that he's injury prone, I will semi-entertain that argument because, sure, he's had a lot of injuries. But then I'll come right back and say, okay, those are freak injuries. It's not like the dude can't keep a hamstring healthy.
Also, like, we've intentionally had, like, not intentionally, but we've obviously had like the worst offensive line, like 4 years in a row.
You're talking about an ACL, a wrist exploding, and his appendix exploding. Like, what are you doing here? That's a lot different than not being able to stay on the field for muscle, strains. Like,
yeah, ran over. I don't get it.
These people. So yeah, they are hoping for the Eagles. I'm hoping for the Eagles.
By the way, score 55-3.
Oh
yeah.
gosh.
I hate the Chiefs.
All right.
In case you were curious.
Well-
I would rejoice. That I've told people this, and this is
Like I
how
had to think about that.
this is how sick I am. But a Chiefs loss in the playoffs brings me as much joy, if not more joy, than a Bengals win in the playoffs. That's where I'm at.
I hope
That's the level of
here's-
sickness I
this is-
have reached.
this is what I'm hoping for more than anything in my entire life. Patrick Mahomes, the few times in his entire life that he's not gotten his PP touched by the refs to help him win a game. Have you seen all the complaints he's done?
Oh,
Did you
yeah.
see when he dapped up Josh Allen a couple of years ago after a football game after he lost?
And then raged for the like 20
Terrible,
minutes.
man. That's terrible. Terrible call.
No sides, man. Like, dude, shut up. Like, you are the biggest tool bag and the most ungrateful person I've ever met in my entire life. You have been gifted the golden jacket without really deserving it.
Yeah.
And then you don't get the call when you flop 10 yards out of bounds. And then you have the audacity to turn around at the refs. It's like, what are we doing? So I pray something happens. Chiefs are on the offensive side, and it's like Jalen Carter or somebody just blasts Mahomes.
I mean, it would be so
And
funny.
then there's no penalty, and he fumbles, and then that's how they lose. So I can watch him be butthurt for the entire press conference and complain to every reporter about how the refs made a terrible call. I cannot wait for that to happen.
It would be so funny
Yeah,
if the NFL just
Patrick
finally
Mahomes.
decided to like flip the script and be like, time to screw them. I don't think that'll happen. But it would be hilarious. I'd be very happy with it. Do we think Travis Kelce retires after this
If
season?
they win, yes.
You think he comes back if they lose?
Yep.
I'm gonna go on a limb and say he's gone either way.
Do we think he proposes?
If they
No.
win, yes.
I think they're contractually obligated to be together to make money. I don't think that it's real. I think he is so bad this year that he's got to hang it up. He's making more money from his podcast than he is from this. Anyways.
Podcast.
His podcast, his commercials, his horrible TV show.
Yeah, it's something else. Okay, moving on from hating the Chiefs for a
Moving
moment.
on. Here's a
Never.
here's a
I will
topic.
never move on.
How do we feel about Myles Garrett?
Oh
Ooh,
yeah,
Where do we think he's going?
breaking news: Myles Garrett
dude.
requested a trade. Oh, other breaking news: Rams, not really breaking. Rams are hacking Cooper Kupp. Bengals listed as top landing spots for both of them.
Yep.
Um,
We'll see. This is the scary situation where the Cooper Cup situation is only enticing to me in the slightest if they don't retain
I'd rather have
T.
T.
Higgins, but I'm with you 100%.
Yeah.
Would much rather have T. Higgins
not a
I
chance to
don't
get
know.
Myles Garrett.
while keeping Trey.
I don't think.
There's
Yeah, I
just
don't
no
think we
way.
have enough money.
Duke Tobin out there saying we can't afford to pay each top position player. He's not going to go get Myles Garrett then.
That would be one of those scenarios that like you're hoping Myles Garrett just wants to chase a ring and is willing to like take a team friendly deal, and even that team friendly deal is probably still astronomical. So
We have a good amount of cap space.
we do, but the problem and we're in a good position in the sense that like you're gonna let a lot of guys walk to free up money. You'll let Zach Moss probably go. They'll probably let Geno Stone go. I bet they let Von Bell go.
Sam Hubbard.
I don't think.
Probably Sam
I don't think
Hubbard.
they'll let him go. I think they'll just. I
Lees.
think they'll just restructure his contract. They owe him.
I don't
They
know.
owe him like $12 million this year. There's no way he gets that.
My point is, you
Sheldon
Like you
Rankins
said,
is
Nick,
gone.
yeah,
That's a
for
big
sure.
one.
Yeah, like Nick said, we have I think it was like the 6th or 7th most cap space going into the season, and you have the ability to cut a bunch of money, even more so. So you do have the luxury of doing that. It's just this is one of those situations where like you are hypothetically speaking, you go get Myles Garrett. Let's say you get Myles Garrett, you get Trey Hendrickson back, you keep T. Higgins and Jamar. Then the rest of your team is filled in with kind of the
Rookies.
older rookies or old vets that are like you're hoping aren't washed but had a down year. So it's a toss up because on paper you're looking at that and thinking you have 5 potential Pro Bowlers.
Yeah, I just don't. Besides the money thing, I don't think the Browns will trade in the same division.
No way, dude. It would cost
Yeah,
significantly
I
more.
would be very, very happy if he just went over to the NFC and we never saw him again.
He's gonna go to like the Lions or something.
Can you imagine him on the Raiders? Him and Max Crosby? Yee.
That'd be crazy.
But
Too bad they have nothing else besides them two and Brock Bowers.
yeah. Cooper Cup, I think probably. I mean, I could see him coming to the Bengals again, if like you said, but I could also see him going to the Patriots. I mean,
Yeah. I doubt
Yeah.
it though. I don't think the Patriots will ever actually commit to a wide receiver.
No, well, that's the thing.
They
They tried. It just never
well,
worked.
they might
Like,
now that they have a quarterback that's they might be able to
Competent.
put their eggs in his
Yeah.
basket because the last 5 years they've had Brissett,
I don't.
Mac Jones, and
I'm not a big believer on Drake May.
I think Myles Garrett goes to the Lions, and I think Cooper Cup goes to the Steelers.
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna say Cooper Cup goes to the Patriots and Myles Garrett goes to Raiders. I want to do it. I think Raiders are just they've got the money and they're stacking their coaching and they're gonna go get somebody to make that team compete. We'll see.
I think Miles Garrett. I think you're right. I think he goes somewhere in the NFC. I'm trying to think where. It's probably gonna be
Can you
something.
imagine him on the Niners?
I was thinking. I literally thought that. But
I
the
don't think
problem
they
is,
can afford him. Bosa makes
No.
so much money.
Bosa makes so much money. Kittle makes so much money. McCaffrey makes so much money. Debo and then Ayuk just got the bag. You're gonna have to pay Brock Purdy.
Well, who's that lineman they have? Trent Williams or whatever?
Yeah, he got
He got the bag.
Big payday.
So that's what I'm saying. I don't know that they have the money for that, but I think
that's what I'm
Cooper
saying.
Cup
Who's the
unfortunately goes to the Bengals because I think the Bengals will fumble the bag and let T go.
I don't think it's gonna happen. If the
I don't want them to,
If
but
the-
I have a bad feeling they will.
You're a hater.
if the Bengals do fumble the bag and T is gone, then yeah, Cooper Cup's coming here. But I mean, even at the Pro Bowl, Joe Burrow's openly making concessions.
The crazy
with
thing
him.
is though, like if you think about it legitimately,
Okay.
what's the difference in pay between T Higgins and Cooper Cup per year? Obviously, T Higgins probably gets a longer contract.
I was gonna say 5, so we're pretty close. T Higgins on the higher side.
I'm just curious. The only reason I bring it up is because Cooper Cup's older.
Like-
He's gonna get probably like a 1-year, 2-year deal or something.
Like I think T gets 30 million, 30 to 35 at 4 years, and Cooper, if he's lucky, is gonna get 20 to 25 at 2.
Cooper Cup.
Yeah.
Like there's no way
Okay.
he's gonna get a long-term contract.
Cleavage.
But we'll see. For fantasy performers, since this is a fantasy football podcast, I'm pretty sure this is gonna be pretty easy, just based off their track record. Top performers.
Super Bowl.
Yeah, for the Super Bowl. Eagles, I'm going Saquon because I don't trust Jalen Hurts in the slightest. And
Do it, Nick. I'm right there with you.
if it's not Saquon, even though I just said this,
Not the Eagles.
it'll be Jalen Hurts because he's going to get 3 rushing touchdowns. If it is, but I think it's going to be Saquon with the most fantasy points for the Eagles at about 26. For the Chiefs, I'm giving it to Mahomes because he's got no one to throw to consistently. And Kareem Hunt is 100 years old, and Isaiah Pacheco has done nothing since he's come back. So I'm giving it to Mahomes at 21 points, which would be
Nick and I have the same people.
be a good game
can
for him.
feel
I feel it.
I can feel it.
Which one are you
This-
doing first, Eagles or Chiefs?
Eagles.
All right.
This
Three.
is my week. No. This is my week. I'll give him his roses. I think Devonta Smith
Oh,
goes crazy.
I was gonna say AJ Brown.
I think Devonta Smith goes crazy. I have saved up enough hate to now turn to love. And you want to know, unfortunately, what I'm feeling?
You're the same
The
person
other-
I am.
The other speed demon
Oh nope.
on the other side of the ball,
Xavier Worthy.
Xavier Worthy.
I thought
I
it.
think he goes crazy.
I thought about him, but I just don't think.
I
Patrick
think that
Mahomes is gonna
somehow
feed him
Travis
enough.
Kelsey still does it.
Maybe Kadarius Toney comes back to the Chiefs and does good again.
I watched
Dude.
him with the Browns one snap in. He fumbled the ball.
If he had good hands, he would actually be crazy. His route
He
running
was
is
so-
insane, but he cannot keep a ball in his hands.
So, what is the top performer? Like, how many is Devontae getting? What's he putting up?
It
That's
ain't gonna
it.
be that crazy. Listen, it's not gonna be that crazy. But I think Xavier Worthy has a nice 24-point game.
Chris?
I think he goes crazy.
I think AJ Brown has like 28. I think he goes off a couple touchdowns, and I think
Give him a two all.
that Travis Kelsey finishes with like 18.
Gosh, I'd be so mad if Travis Kelsey finishes with multiple touchdowns on this Super Bowl after he's done nothing all season.
I don't know if we have touchdowns, but I think this is gonna be the
18
classic.
points without a touchdown. That's crazy.
The,
No,
the
he'll have
classic
one. He said
run
multiple.
10 yards, turn around, and catch the ball.
Yeah, it'll be like 11 catches for like 140 yards or something stupid.
I could see that. And then it'll be like, it's that championship DNA. And
Yeah,
then I'll want to.
You gotta
these guys just find a way to get it done in the playoffs, Jam.
Championship DNA may be the gayest line I've ever heard come out of a commentator. Like,
Oh,
never once did I hear that about Tom Brady. Ever. And I was watching an interview with Gronk, between Gronk and Jimmy Fallon, and he's like, do you think that Patrick Mahomes is entered the GOAT conversation? And he was like, I think Patrick Mahomes, you could argue he's the best quarterback in the NFL right now. But Tom Brady is undefeated against Patrick Mahomes. And they had the dynasty over 2 decades. So he's like, if you want to argue that Patrick Mahomes has had the best decade, like singular decade, he's like, you could entertain that. But he's like, there's just no way, because unless this continues for another 10 years, like, why are we even talking?
Oh, I hope
Why are
not.
we even talking about it? But I mean, that's what. Gosh, can you imagine if it was 2001 and Patrick Mahomes entered the league and we had to watch him until 2023?
I liked Tom Brady at least. I liked Brady. I liked watching the Patriots.
So that would be what? So it's 22 years. If we had to watch Mahomes from 2017 to 2039,
Oh.
that's crazy. I would telling you I'd stop watching football. There's no way.
somebody got to sign Vontez to a one day
telling you.
contract and just
I'm telling
let
you.
him have it.
He's been meeting with John Gruden for
Give him
Barstool,
the Antonio Brown.
and
Yeah.
John Gruden. I think they were joking about that he needs to like play again on some teams, and Vontez was saying like he would never be able to play because he could barely
No, the
play
league
during
wouldn't
his
allow it.
time. Yeah, but that pretty much wraps up the extent of what we have, how we're feeling about the Pro Bowl, upcoming Super Bowl matchup. Let us know how you felt about the Pro Bowl and the upcoming Super Bowl. We will not be watching, but we will have a show next Monday at our normal time of 10 p.m. Eastern. We will hopefully be celebrating an Eagles win. If we get on here and it's very
Clip it. That's the only time you'll ever hear that from Johnny's mouth.
Yeah, I mean, again, one of my top 5
Unless they
hated
play the Chiefs again.
Yeah, one of my top 5 hated teams. But if we get on here Monday after and you know that the Chiefs have won, just be prepared because it's gonna be a bad day.
I hurt myself today.
But that is all we have. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We will be back next week at 10. Like I said, thank you so much, and we will see you next time.